All in Sports Network. We love sports.
Well, the Kansas City Chiefs lost to the Denver Broncos in pretty embarrassing fashion, 22-19. The offense was downright terrible, and man, where do we start? Where do we start? Welcome into the Chiefs Report, everybody. Post game here, I gonna be honest with you, I'm a little lost for words, so we'll kind of talk through this one and break down the game. Look at what's next for Kansas City, why this team is in such a disarray right now, what the offense can do, what the offense can't do, and pretty much everything in between. So, once again, thanks for tuning in. Thanks for watching here on the Rogue Sports Network. Man, let's just start with the drive-by-drive and kind of talk about where this game really went wrong. So, we first start with the first half, and I've got a couple of drives picked out that I want to talk about. You give up a 14-play, 54-yard drive to the Broncos. You're able to not allow them to get in the end zone, whatever. You then go 3 and out and you punt the ball. Offense was off to a pretty horrendous start right away. They allow for another field goal. You're down 6-0 pretty much instantaneously. I mean, this game had barely gotten underway. 4 plays, only 5 yards because, well, you barely punted the ball. I mean, it was horrendous. Let's just go with that. Then after that, you have a 9-play, 59-yard drive where you try and get all the way down the field. Ultimately, it's a 31-yard field goal. You're pretty much in the red zone with all everything. So you just had hoped to get more than that, especially since you had a 40-yard penalty. 40-yard penalty in this drive, and you were unable to get into the end zone. It once again just poses problems for the Chiefs when they were able to reach the red zone. They just couldn't get into it, and that was a theme you'll see here through a couple of different drives we talk about. But it's okay, though. 3 and out on the punt, 3 plays, -2 yards. You get the field goal there. Obviously, kind of tough in a lot of ways when you think about having freaking penalties in the other one, having the horrible punt there. It did not work out. But either way, besides the point, here in the field goal, 16 plays. And again, 16 plays, 77 yards, 9 minutes off the clock. And it's another 31-yard field goal. In the red zone, once again, can't convert. You're now 5-5, guys. And the true reason is because you cannot convert in the red zone. It really is. You cannot convert in the red zone. Luckily, though, you force a punt, they force a punt. Really just some defensive play over the last 4 drives. You go into half tied 6-6. You then throw an interception on your first possession because, of course, that is. And, well, it didn't exactly work out great because ultimately you had got intercepted twice in this drive. You got intercepted twice. They got saved by a penalty back earlier, and that was fantastic, all that stuff. But you had Patrick Mahomes throw 2 interceptions. I understand penalties can cause that, and it's kind of just the way it is. But you threw 2 interceptions in a drive, one of those right near the end zone. Of course, then they drive 11 plays, 89 yards on the defense, and get a touchdown to go up 13-6. You luckily come right back at a 6-play, 75-yard touchdown in 3 minutes and 14 seconds just to tie the game right back up. And then it was field goal / touchdown central in the fourth quarter. 8 plays, 60 yards. I mean, it was just long drives for the Broncos. Long drives in every single time they were able to score. Besides one of them, they had 6-play, 19-yard drive with 2 minutes and 20 minutes off the clock to tie the game up at 19. Chiefs in crunch time. Patrick Mahomes does his best in the fourth quarter, right? Patrick Mahomes, the entire offense, they do their best. In the fourth quarter, good job, touchdown, great job, right? Travis Kelce, and funny enough, it was like the longest yards after catch he had in like 4 years. It felt like, or in his career. It was some crazy stat with that. He caught the ball and went the longest yards after completion that he had in a long time, or maybe even ever. 6 plays, 73 yards, you score a touchdown. Then the crunch time comes up, guys. 3 plays, 8 yards, 1:41 off the clock. You don't score anything. You allow a field goal, tie the game up. Then you have the ball back. Patrick Mahomes, very good at going down, scoring a game-winning drive. Offense in a very good place. Matt Nagy comes up with 3 horrendous plays. And even the play that was trying to convert on third down, when it was a horrible play call. 3 plays, you lost 11 yards and had 1:11 off the clock to keep the game tied at 19. And, of course, 10 plays, 58 yards, 2 minutes and 59 seconds, and the game is over on a very easy, like legit an extra point type field goal, 35-yarder for Will Lutz, and you lose the game 22-19. The Broncos win their 8th straight. They're 6-0 at home. You're 1-4 away, and you're 5-5 overall. I wanted to sit here and say that this game wasn't a must-win game. And I came on this and I told you this was not a must-win game. But looking back at this now with how abysmal they played, I almost think it might have been, because this team ain't beating Indianapolis at all. There's no way I can see this team coming out next week at 11 a.m. in Arrowhead, mind you, and still being able to beat Indianapolis. Not happening. Nope. Very much not going to be a thing. I still believe in this team. I do. And I think if you can lose to Indianapolis, but if you win out after that, which you'll have to play Denver again, playoffs are still in a very prime condition. I don't want to say I'm worried about that, but it's definitely a question mark on this journey, I guess, in a lot of ways. But what concerns me the most is that the offense was just not good. It was really embarrassing, to be honest. Patrick Mahomes, his completion percentage has continued to not be great. He had to throw the ball very quick, got sacked 3 times, had a 79.5 rating, 1 touchdown, 1 INT. Kareem Hunt was your only rusher. I continue to ask, why in the world are they not using Brashard Smith? 13 carries, 59 yards. Like, Kareem did great, had a touchdown as well, and I understand why they kept using them, but he only had 14 carries. Like, I just think you should have been able to use him more. Tyquan Thornton had a fantastic catch for that 61-yard, getting him in the red zone. Didn't really matter. It's just hard to look at this team right now and say, yep, playoff team. Playoff team right here. Boy, that's what we got on our hands, a playoff team. No, it's hard. Travis Kelce has a fantastic game, 9 catches, 91 yards. Obviously, the touchdown on 21-yard long. Great job in the yards after catch. Hollywood, 4 catches for 40 yards. Rasheed had 6 catches, but only 38 yards from it. And Xavier, 3 catches for 25 yards. He got PI'd and had a 40-yard ball that was, I guess, taken away in some aspect. I don't know if he would have caught it anyway, but 40 yards, you could totally add to his total. 2 catches, 9 yards for Noah Gray. 2 catches, 8 yards for Brashard Smith. 1 catch for 3 yards for Kareem. 1 catch for 1 yard for Robert Tonyan. I look to next year now and really get concerned for the future, just because this is not a team that is in a good spot, cap space wise, free agent wise, player wise, really. And now you're 5-5. This team is struggling to get their offense going, and they cannot beat a legitimate team to save their life. Like Detroit, maybe, I guess they're a pretty legitimate team, but the other ones they played, Los Angeles lost that game. Philadelphia lost that game. Yeah, you could say Baltimore's a legitimate team, but you beat them when Lamar got hurt. And again, you beat them by 17 is what you should have done. You lose to Jacksonville, legitimate team, on the road. You had a lead, by the way, and that's where the season kind of started to crumble. Past that, you beat Detroit. Great job. That was in Arrowhead. And I have my thoughts about Detroit. Las Vegas is not a good team. Washington is not a good team. Buffalo's a good team. You go into Orchard Park, you lose by 1 score. You go into Denver, you lose by 1 score. When they lose by 1 score. When they win by multiple touchdowns. Guess what? When it's a 1-score game versus Indianapolis, who are you going to pick? The team that continues to lose 1-score games? Or the Colts, who have continuously been one of the best teams, obviously beating the Atlanta Falcons in overtime or something, but been one of the best teams in the AFC. And they're scoring 30-plus points a game pretty much every single contest. The Stevens has a tough challenge with Jonathan Taylor coming off a bye. Daniel Jones is playing great. And I, again, just don't know what to expect from this team week in and week out. And I asked the question of, I look towards the next season, as I said, and is this dynasty over? You have Patrick Mahomes, so you always have a chance, but man, this just has a different feel to it. It really does. These close games that they usually used to win, they're not. They haven't had a 100-yard receiver all year. Brown had 99 in the first game. Kelce had 99 in the first game. You expect to have a 100-yard receiver when Mahomes is throwing like that. Obviously, he has a lot of different options. He had 318 yards versus Jacksonville, but it's just not the same team. It's not the same way. It's not the same expectations. And the concern is there for the future. The concern is there for now. Because what happens in a year from now when Leo Chenal, Jack Cochran are unable to be resigned because of your cap space. When Travis Kelce decides it's time to retire, but it doesn't really help your cap space because you didn't have him under contract. You're negative 30 million in the hole right now and continuously are sitting here wondering why this team is struggling. Because it really shouldn't. It really shouldn't. You look at this roster, you look at the receiving core you have, and you think, man, this team should be good. You have Patrick Mahomes. Pacheco, I know that he hasn't been the same, but still you have him, and obviously being injured is not great. Rashee Rice, Xavier Worthy, Holly Brown, that's a top 5 wide receiving core right there, maybe even top 3. You also have one of the best, if not the best tight end of all time in Travis Kelce. Your line's on a very good spot. Your defense with Coach Spags has been pretty good. Obviously, the injuries have hurt them on the defensive line, but it just doesn't make sense why this team can't get over the hump. But the answer is pretty much right in front of us, and it's this offense cannot step up to the challenge. It cannot. That's why you lose these one-score games. That's why you're unable to win these games. It's games that the Chiefs continuously won in the prior years. And honestly, I don't want to say it, but for all the one-score games they have won over the past 5 years now, it seems like it's all coming up to catch them. It's all coming up to say, hey, guess what? We're finally coming back to haunt you. We're finally coming back. Then you're not going to win these one-score games. You're not going to come out and compete in these one-score games. And you're not going to have the ball when the game is over. You're going to give it a chance. Patrick Mahomes is going to go 3 and out and get minus 11 yards because of penalties. Josh Simmons was back. That's fantastic. Didn't really do much. I mean, had a couple penalties, but it's just it's tough. It's tough. And so I want to talk about what's next for the Chiefs and why we can still have some hope from here. But that's all to come here on the later part of the show. So make sure you stick around. Be right back here on this Chiefs post game. Again, Chiefs fall 22-19 to the Broncos in what was maybe a season-changing loss. We'll talk about that and kind of the latest from what's next here next.
Dive into adventure with Scuba.com, your ultimate destination for top-tier scuba and snorkeling gear. With over 20 years of experience, our expert staff, who've dived everywhere from the Galapagos to the Maldives, provides personalized advice to help you find the perfect gear for any underwater journey. Shop leading brands like GoPro, Aqualung, and Scuba Pro. Whether you're a beginner or a pro, trust Scuba.com for the best in diving equipment and expert guidance. Explore now at Scuba.com. That's SCUBA.com. Scuba.com. BizChair.com, your one-stop shop for premium commercial furniture that blends quality with affordability. From ergonomic office chairs to durable restaurant seating, we cater to diverse industries including corporate, medical, hospitality, and education. With over 20 years of experience, we offer fast shipping, exceptional customer support, and furniture solutions that stand up to high-traffic environment. Elevate your space with BizChair's vast selection of stylish, reliable, and cost-effective furniture. Visit us today at BizChair.com to transform your business. Level up your game with Corsair, the global leader in high-performance gear for gamers, content creators, and PC enthusiasts. From award-winning PC components to premium streaming equipment, smart lighting, and esports coaching services, Corsair delivers an ecosystem designed for peak performance. Whether you're a casual gamer or a pro, alleviate your setup with Corsair. Shop now at Corsair.com. That's Corsair.com. Corsair. At Mitzi, we believe the right light can transform any space. Born from a third-generation lighting family, we craft beautifully designed, premium lighting that's made to be affordable. Inspired by Grandma Mitzi's eclectic style, we're on a mission to make high-quality lighting accessible to all. Whether you're updating your space or adding a unique fixture, Mitzi has the perfect design for you. Beautiful, well-made lighting without the high price tag. Discover your perfect light at Mitzi.com. That's MITZI.com. Mitzi. Founded in 1910, Samsonite is the world leader in durable, high-quality luggage and travel accessories. Made to the highest standards, our products won't let you down. We give you the confidence to get out there and explore. Inspired by the past, devoted to the present, and built to inspire a multi-generational future, Samsonite is here to elevate your journey. Travel with Samsonite and pack confidence every step of the way. Shop now at shop.samsonite.com. Samsonite. The grinder mentality that Randy and Brent Habert built into 44 Pro runs deep within our team. Every member shares a passion for the craft, the game, and most importantly, the player. When you step onto the field with a 44 Pro custom glove, you'll feel the difference. It's not just a glove, it's a 44 Pro. Crafted with dedication, made for performance, and built to last. Get your custom glove today at 44pro.com and experience the 44 Pro difference. That's 44pro.com, 44 Pro. At Angel Bliss, we believe every parent's journey is a beautiful adventure. Our mission is to make it joyful and stress-free with thoughtful, safe, and innovative products. Born from a love for family, we promise peace of mind for parents and comfort for babies. From playtime to bedtime, every Angel Bliss product is designed with care, reliability, and a style to nurture the special bond between parent and child. Angel Bliss, creating happy memories, one baby at a time. Visit us at angelbliss.us. Angel Bliss. Golf Partner, the world's largest golf store network, offers more purchasing opportunities than anywhere else. With a dominant market share and a wider selection of quality secondhand golf clubs than our competitors, we make it easy for you to enjoy the game with affordable, top-quality equipment. Join us at golfpartnerusa.com and discover why we're the trusted choice for golf lovers worldwide. That's golfpartnerusa.com. Golf Partner.
Since 2003, Bluehost has been empowering people to harness their brands online with innovative web hosting solutions. Trusted by over 2 million users, we're the longest-running WordPress.org recommended host. With Bluehost, you get a safer, better web experience, supported by the world's most popular site builder, and backed by our commitment to open-source projects. Visit Bluehost.com today and take your website to the next level.
Welcome back here to the Road Sports Network. It's the Chiefs Report. We're talking about Kansas City's 22-19 loss versus the Denver Broncos. We've talked about what an embarrassing loss it is. We talked about how this affects kind of our viewpoint, but ultimately what we really can do is look at what's next. And I think we truly have to make a decision here. Is this Kansas City team worth a playoff spot? Is this Kansas City team, if they can make the playoffs, actually trustworthy to make a run? And I think my answer and response to that is I think they're very worthy of a playoff spot. In fact, I would argue that they're probably still going to make the playoffs, and I don't think it's going to be that big of a problem. However, a run in the playoffs, I don't know about that one. And so that's where we kind of have to go look more in depth in the NFL side of things and look at this playoff picture. And so right now, the Kansas City Chiefs are the 9th seed. Like they're out of the playoffs, like for sure. They're 5-5. Jacksonville went to 6-4 records a day by beating Los Angeles. So luckily you beat Los Angeles in some aspects because you just took out or you got Los Angeles on a loss in some aspect because Jacksonville beat them, but doesn't really help when you lose. And the problem now is that you have the Ravens on your tail, and next week you play the Colts. And they play the Jets. Oh, you've also got the Dolphins on your tail now all of a sudden. You play the Colts, and they play the Saints, and then the Jets. Okay, well, that's not great. The Bengals might get Joe Burrow back. Like, the problem you're going to see here, and we'll have some tough conversations, is that you are 5-5, and the Texans, I don't want to concern them. I don't think they're a good team, and they face the Bills, Colts, and you in the next 3 weeks. Granted, they play the Cardinals and the Raiders, but they also play the Colts once again. I'm not worried about them. How I am worried, though, is the Baltimore Ravens, because the Steelers potentially could have lost I don't want to say lost, but Aaron Rodgers got an injury today, and the wrist injury, and the expectation is that Mason Rudolph will be the starter next week. The Dolphins, as bad as they are, could easily make a run. They're playing the Saints and the freaking Jets. The Ravens are going to play the Jets next week. They are terrible. And you're 5-5. Like, legitimately, you could be in a tied spot. Or not a tied spot because you have one less loss, but you would be close to Miami at that point. Like, very close to Miami. And you'd be a 10 seed. Does that mean you're not going to make the playoffs? No. Because ultimately there's this. I just told you I don't believe in Houston. So that should be a win. Dallas, in my opinion, unless their defense is severely changed by the addition of Quentin Williams, Logan Wilson, and DeMarvion Overshown all coming back, which it could be. I'm not saying it can't be, but it could be. I still think that team is not good enough. You should beat them in theory, although crazier things have happened on Thanksgiving. You then play Los Angeles, and the team that I saw today against Los Angeles was bad, but the team I saw in Denver with Kansas City was bad. So I really think that becomes a must-win game. You can beat Tennessee, you can beat Las Vegas, and Denver here. For me to legitimately believe you have a shot at the playoffs, you can lose next week, I guess. I don't see a win happening. If you win, that can change the opinion right back to saying, okay, this is a playoff team, and maybe they do have a run at them, and we misjudged them once again, because that's happened before. We all know that the Chiefs have some weird ways of making themselves look horrible, and then all of a sudden just flipping a switch and like, all right, we're good guys, we're back, and that could easily happen, because I don't know why this team has been playing bad. I really don't. You've got the Cowboys, you should win that game. Got Houston, you should win that game. You should beat Tennessee, and you should beat Las Vegas. Right there is 4 wins. Let's say you lose against Indianapolis. At that point, you are 8-9, right? Or sorry, yeah, 4. Okay, not that way. Let's just say you beat Indianapolis, you beat Dallas, you beat Houston. Right there, you go back to a positive plus 500 record at 7-6. Los Angeles is a tough team. If you can do that as a must-win game, in my opinion, you are then 8-6. You can beat Tennessee, you're 9-6, and then in theory, you are 10-6 and 10-7 if you lose to Denver there. 10-7 should make the playoffs. Keyword should, but again, I think you have to go back here and look at the standings in the NFL, and we can go back and do last year's and say, okay, in the playoff in 2024, what was the cutoff? It was 10 wins. So if you get 10 wins, you're there. Okay, what about 2023? It was 10 wins. So the goal for the Chiefs, in theory, is to get 10 wins. To get 10 wins now, you have, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 games left? 7 games left. You need to win 5 of 7 games to, in theory, seal a playoff spot. You got to beat Dallas. You got to beat Houston. You have to beat Los Angeles, and then Tennessee and Las Vegas. If you beat Indianapolis, if you beat Denver, that's helpful as well. But the biggest game to me is this Los Angeles game. You lost in the first time. It was obviously in a neutral location. You get them in your home turf, and that's great. You have to beat them. And if you're able to beat Denver, which you easily could on Christmas, things can change. But in all reality, the games you have to win now are the Cowboys, the Texans, the Chargers, the Titans, and Vegas. Losing any one of those games could cause disaster and could put you in a spot where playoffs actually might be in a major question, a huge question mark. And that can kind of cause for some concern for a multitude of different reasons, because maybe you get a mid-first round pick, that's great, but does it really help this team? Does it really propel this team in the next year, getting one extra first round, getting a first round pick higher up? I don't know that it does. It's just hard to believe for me, because I mean, I've followed the Chiefs for years and years and years. Obviously, I've been covering them for the past 3 years now, and there's just a different feel. And I almost want to take a poll of Chiefs fans and really do feel like, am I being exaggerant here when I say that this does feel like a different Chiefs team, and that this does feel like the dynasty, I'm not gonna say is over, but it's definitely fading? Or am I off pace? It's just maybe it's just a different era where they can come back and they can still win. They could easily do that, but it just feels different, because I just can't put my finger on why they're losing. I really can't. And that's kind of the problem I have. And the most kind of crazy thing to me is that when I say what's next from here, I don't know. I really don't know. For this offense to perform in the way we expect it to, maybe, I guess that could be something to expect. But at the same time, is that really a reality we can expect when each week it feels like they should be doing this type of thing where they come out and perform? And can I really trust Patrick Mahomes now when the one-score games are the ones we're losing? And unless we're up by multiple possessions, we're going to be in a good spot? Like, I don't know anymore. And it's a scary place to be in some aspects. And so I think the question you're probably asking is, can this Chiefs team still do what we have seen from the Chiefs in the past and fix it and go on a run? Can they? Yes. Will they? I have severe doubts about it, and I think it's highly unlikely that that ends up happening. But can they? Yes. And so that's where we sit right here. We wait. and we kind of just twiddle our thumbs and really kind of hone down on the next week. And I think that's the biggest thing now is I said so much about how Denver is a must-win game and that if they lost, that Colts were a must-win game. And in all reality, if a must-win game to keep my sanity alive, yes, the must-win game to keep the playoff hopes alive, not exactly true. I think the AFC is so crowded that it might be true, but I don't know if it's inherently like, oh, yeah, you have to beat the Colts, so you're not making the playoffs. Like, I don't think you can say that just because their schedule past that is relatively simple with Dallas, Houston, Tennessee, and Las Vegas in the mix there in your final 6 games. I would be reminiscent to say that I don't think this team is a playoff game, but I also don't think this team is somebody that can make the playoffs and then go on a run. Like, I mean, let's be honest with ourselves. We can just go and look right now. Let's say they go 10-6. Let's say they go 11-5. Let's say, or not 11-5, 11-6, not 10-7, 11-7. Is that right? I'm getting all my numbers mixed up right now. Okay, let's do this the right way. You're 5-5 right now. You've got 7 games left. Let's say you're able to win 6 of them. You go 6-1. You end up 11-6. In that aspect, you are probably the 7 seed, meaning you're going to play the 2 seed, which would be Indianapolis, Denver, or New England. You play Denver twice. Maybe that's great. New England looks pretty good, but they haven't played anybody. I mean, Buffalo could also take over that spot. I don't see you beating any of those teams. I really don't. Especially on the road, once you've been horrendous this season, 1-4. It's not something I'm excited to see. And so, can they make the playoffs? For sure, they could make the playoffs. Are they going to do anything in the playoffs? I don't think so. Now, again, this is Kansas City. They can change their aspects, and maybe that does work out. But tough to get a read on this team. It really is tough to get a read on this team because every week there's a different problem, it feels like. And every week it's, the offense was performing, what the defense going to do. The offense did this, and defensive line is good. Don't have a running back. Maybe Rhett Breach was right to not make a trade because I don't know what would fix this team at this point. That's all we got for you here today. We'll be back tomorrow talking the latest on injury reports, news, rumors, and getting you some updates, planning ahead for the Indianapolis Colts game. Again, I don't think it's a must-win game, but it's going to be a huge one, and we'll kind of talk shop on that and what exactly is the latest news for that. Plus, take a look at some injury stuff as I believe was it Josh Simmons? It was Kingsley Sulamotaya. He went into concussion protocol today. Obviously, that's a question mark now. It's a 7-day protocol in some aspects, so he could be out for next week's game against Colts. That can kind of hurt your offensive line, so we'll have injury updates on him. As of right now, no report has been out, just that he went into concussion protocol. Obviously, he didn't return, is what I remember. Let me confirm that real quick. Kingsley Suamataia, I believe he did not return, but I really could be wrong. All right, so he is in concussion protocol. The latest on him is that he did not return to the game. Oh, yeah, he left the field with people around his arms. So, yeah, he might have a serious concussion. He couldn't walk as he was going to there. And if that's a concussion, that's not something you want to see. Yeah, he could not walk as he was heading to it. Yeah, that's not good. So we'll have updates on him. Looking at that video, I don't think he's going to play next week. I really don't. I mean, I'll just show you. Right? I mean, you can share my screen here. He is walking off the field, barely using his legs, but they labeled as a concussion injury. That doesn't look good at all. Yeah, he's been rolled out. Okay. All right, well, here's an update. So I guess we're here. Kingsley, oh my God, I heard this. He hit his head on the turf. Great update, Andy. Read that. Okay, so no update right now. Just waiting for full confirmation. He hit his head on the turf. He had to get helped off. That'll be our update tomorrow. I'll talk about Kingsley and was a former 2nd-round pick, wasn't he, back in 2024 offseason, right? So, guy that's really important. We'll talk about him in the next stream. But appreciate you watching, and we'll see you next time here on the Chiefs Report, guys. Peace out, everybody.
All in Sports Network. We love sports.